Hi, Mary.
Hi,
How are
Christy.
you today?
Wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It is when we're filming this, it's still August, so it's really hot out. Although we had a little bit of a break today, didn't we?
We did. Yesterday actually was the hottest day of
I,
the year in
I know it
Dallas.
was crazy. So when I woke up
It
today and it was
was.
overcast, I asked my husband, I was like, "Is it raining? Is it going to rain today? Like, is that a hope?"
Definitely. Every time I see a cloud, I'm like, oh, good, it's
We're
going
like
to
crossing our fingers, please. Well,
Definitely.
thank you for joining me today. We have an interesting guest and an interesting topic that we're going to talk about. So, um, Mary, why don't you tell them what we're talking about today, what the organization is, and how you got involved?
Okay, we are the Grandbaby Project, which is dementia therapy, dementia doll therapy. And it's been going on in the UK and in Japan for over 25 years. We're kind of late to the game, but it is catching on, catching up because, of course, we're all familiar with pet therapy, where the pretty golden retrievers come in, and music therapy, and this is just another tool for communities and for those home caregivers. Those are folks that we really try to reach because they're exhausted caring for their person in
Yeah.
home. So we want to get out to everyone. We are changing the world one snuggle at a
Aw.
time. Every arm that needs a baby to be full. I became involved, and it's life changing when you can remember the date.
Okay.
May 3rd of last year of 2023, I had gone to an event on the previous day, which was a Wednesday, and a representative of the Grandbaby Project came up to me, and she just had this long sentence of, "Hey, we're the Grandbaby Project. We're having our kickoff lunch tomorrow. We'd really love for you to come." So I went, and I'd never heard of the Grandbaby Project at all. I'd not even heard of dementia doll therapy. So I go, and when the meeting was over, I went to our founder, Tanya Moon, and I said, "Hey, I know everybody. Let me make some introductions for you." So after she and I talked for about another hour, she says, "You need a baby." So she turns around and she picks up this baby, and we continue talking, and she goes, "What are you going to name your baby?" I said, "I don't know. It'll come to me." So I was on my way home, and she was all snug in the passenger seat. And I looked over and I realized she had gray eyes. And my mother had gray eyes. It's the rarest eye color in the world. And when my mother had passed away, I looked up her name. She had a very unusual name. And since the records have been kept, it had only been used 180
Oh, wow.
times. So this is number 181. This is baby Brita Ann, named after my mother. So I became involved with the project, loving every minute of it. And Tanya was called home to Houston to take care of her family. And so I became the lead ambassador here in North Texas, but we're worldwide now. Our babies have gone to Denmark. They've gone to Africa. We're working on getting one down to Guatemala. And so our babies are going around the world, and it's amazing what the Grandbaby Project has done. It's a 20-year labor of love. We've been going at it for 2 years, and it's like a rocket ship to Mars. It's just taken off.
Yeah. And I can see why it's taken off because of the impact that you guys are having in families and in your clients' lives with what you're doing. So
Exactly.
when I first heard about this at the meeting that you and I were at, how precious is the presentation of the babies. So talk about that, because it's not like you're just shipping them or handing them a baby doll. There's a lot more to it than that.
There's a lot of work that goes into this, let me tell you. When we go into a community, like you're the ones we've discussed that you're familiar with, when we go into a community, we do, of course, presentation. We do a full training. Our training is sanctioned by the Dementia Society of America. We are the only, now there are other dementia doll therapy companies out there. We're the only one that they support. So we have a training through that. We come in and we train every member of the staff that is going to have direct contact with the babies. Because I know it's a doll, you know it's a doll. And the guy in the kitchen that busses tables, he knows it's a doll, but it's in the floor and he doesn't want somebody to step on it. So he reaches down, I'm going to slide back here a little. He reaches down and he picks up the doll. Now, Grandma is all upset because she just saw you pick up a baby by the foot and leg. So the first thing we do is train everybody how to care for their baby, how to treat their baby like a baby, and how to interact with the residents or with the beloved family member, how to interact with them. So after the presentation, after the training, we come in and the big reveal is a baby shower. Communities can do whatever they like. We've had some communities that it was cookies and juice on a table, which is great. We've had others that was a balloon wall with an arch and Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. So it's what they want to do. But we don't just go out and here's your baby, here's your baby. We actually make a presentation. All of our babies are scented with the essential oil of Johnson's baby powder. That scent is known around the world, even third world countries, everything. You recognize that scent. That is the scent that a mother and a newborn give off at the time of childbirth. And Johnson and Johnson then just figured out how to put it in a bottle. So they are scented with the essence of Johnson's baby powder. And then I discovered early on, when you hold your baby close to you, they become warm.
Oh.
So we are presenting a warm scented baby, not unlike what you would receive in the hospital. So we make contact. I'll have the baby in my arms and we'll make contact with the patient or with the client, the resident. It takes a dementia patient about 90 seconds to process anything that's going on around them. So we get down to their eye level. Nobody wants to be lorded over.
Right.
We get down to their eye level. We don't mention the baby. We just start talking to them. Oh, that's such a pretty color on you. I like your earrings. We're engaging them. Now we'll start to see their eyes cutting over looking at the baby. Some may reach for it. Some are just looking. But when they actually process what this is, I'll be like, what do you think of this? Look at it. Isn't it cute? Look at this bright orange dress. We still are engaging them and making sure that they're not feeling threatened, that they can see what's going on in front of them. Some of our family and friends will say, oh, that's a doll. That's great. Whatever they say is what we go with. Some will automatically assume it is a baby. So we go with what they think. I did a presentation a couple of weeks ago when I first started talking with the lady and holding the baby. She said, that's a doll. I said, well, yes, ma'am, it is. I said, but it's so warm and it smells so good and it makes you feel so good when you hold it. By the time we got back to her room, she was, I want to hold the baby.
Yeah.
So we go with what they do, but we present. The reason that we chose the babies that we did, you can see they have nice big faces, big facial features. They have little teeth. A dementia patient, their vision goes from here, totally outstretched arms, down to what we would think of as a periscope. So they need big stuff to look at. But we just make sure that we're engaging with them. If they don't want the baby, we may leave it sitting near them, something like that. They're never
Right.
forced. That's the most important thing. They are not forced, but they will, in most cases, interact with the baby. Even the people that think it's a doll, they very well may interact with it. Because even if I don't want a baby, tomorrow morning when everybody in the dining room has got themselves a baby, guess what? I want one. Peer pressure is no different at 90 than it is at 9, except a 90-year-old will kidnap a baby. So when we come in, we leave a baby for every resident in the community. And we leave a couple of extra because somebody's going to want twins. And we always make sure we have plenty to accommodate. Once you've received your baby, it is yours. Many of our residents are buried with their baby in their arms. So it goes to the family once they pass away.
So you have little girl babies and little boy babies as well?
We do. We have little. They don't have any little parts, but you can tell by the way they're dressed. Little boys are going to have on hats. Little girls are going to have on headbands, something like that. We have Caucasian, African American, Asian. We have Indian, Hispanic, and biracial babies.
Okay, something.
So everybody can get a baby that they are comfortable with
and that they relate to.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you're doing this, you're going into like memory care facilities most of the time?
We do. We also have programs for the home.
Okay.
Because, and I'm not speaking bad about communities, please believe me, but communities are extremely expensive.
Yeah.
And there's some people that they just can't afford that. So we also have a kit that you can order that's going to come with a baby, going to come with blankets, information, things like that can be ordered and shipped directly to your home. If you're in the DFW area, I can deliver your baby. But when we go into memory cares, that basically helps everyone there. And then also, as families are deciding which memory care to use, this is a program that is not in every community, and it never will be. Yeah. It won't be with every hospice company. So it's something that families can look for and know that community or that hospice company is really invested in the best care for their loved ones.
What if someone has their loved one in a facility now and they're interested in your project? How does that work, like to get the project into a community?
Well, great question. Usually if let's just say it's your family member, and you think it would be a great idea. So I would just ask you to connect me with the activities director, the ED, and let me come out and do a presentation. All of our presentations are free of charge. And so I come out, I bring my baby, I have a little dog stroller over here full of babies. And so it works perfectly. It's really light. So we come out, we do a presentation, and we explain, allergies. We explain everything that goes on with what we do and how it does literally immediately affect, because we know it doesn't matter whether it is a mood altering drug, if it is an antibiotic, if it is a painkiller. It doesn't happen just like that when you get a shot or you take a pill or something. But let me tell you that I can hand a person a baby and it can instantly make a difference. We had one community, and they had already warned me. I went to do the baby shower. They said, and names have been changed, don't worry. They said, Miss Hazel is here. She did not want your program. She's very much against it. And her husband was a resident in last stages of dementia, but there was nothing wrong with her. So Her husband actually engaged with me, and I put a baby in his lap. He had not moved his arms. He was totally unresponsive, but he was looking at me, looking at the baby, and looking down his lap. So, okay, I gave him a
Yeah.
baby. So in a few minutes, here comes that same caregiver. And she goes, Miss Hazel wants to talk to you. I'm like, oh, goody. So I went over and sat down with her, and she was crying.
Oh,
And we started talking, and she told me everything she did not like about my program. She told me 2 or 3 things she didn't like about me. But I mean, she ran the gamut, everything. She goes, I want you to see something. And she reached up, she got hold of his wheelchair, and she flipped him around. He had his baby in his arms, just like this, those arms that he had not moved. And he was dipping his cookie in juice, and he was feeding his baby. Now that happened in less than 5 minutes, probably in more like 3. I kind of teared up here. I like to think that I gave her back her young, virile husband who had done that with their own children, that she could close her eyes and see a young man who just got home from work cuddling his own children.
yeah.
But that is how fast it happens. We will hand a baby to someone who has not spoken in years, and they'll start singing to their baby.
Oh,
And it's not word salad. It's like Jesus loves the little children, things like that. And that is instantaneous. You cannot achieve that with pharmaceuticals.
right.
That's what the other countries have determined. The United States, we love our pills, we love our shots, but they've determined you can do more with this than you ever can with artificial. So that's what we're trying to do. Because as someone is presented a baby, it's the first thing it's going to do is going to cut down on falls. Because you're not going to be just scooting around real fast with a baby in your arms.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be sitting more. You're going to be rocking. So falls are cut down. It helps with social interaction because people are getting together, having play dates with their babies. And it also, too, it helps. We know with dementia patients, they ain't going to want to take a bath. No way. But the caregiver can say, well, Miss Christie, you need to take your bath because we need to clean up the baby. Baths are easier. Food. Getting food into a dementia patient is very difficult, but they're going to eat because they have to eat to take care of their baby. You can smoosh a cupcake right here. It is not going to hurt this baby. You just wipe them off and they're all better. But they will take a bite for me and a bite for baby, bite for me and a bite for baby. And so it helps there. There is absolutely nothing that this baby won't help with. Please take your pills. Your folks that have sundowners can start as early as 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Those people are walking. Well, I'm sorry, communities or families, they can't walk from 1 in the afternoon until 10 or 11 o'clock at night. It's just not possible. But they can have their baby. They can walk their baby. You can hold a baby and walk with them and get them to slow down and walk at your speed. And so once again, there's another behavior. There is literally no behavior with dementia that this baby will not have some type of effect on in a positive manner.
That's pretty amazing when you think something so small can be so powerful. And when you think of, and if you've ever had to go through this with a family member with dementia, you know, they lose so much of themselves. To be able to give them a little something back is
Dignity.
It's just priceless.
It is, and it does give them. I do home care. That's my day job, and I go to work every morning with the idea of today I'm going to give someone back their dignity. And yes, when a person is in the end stage, or really in any stage of dementia, they can't even make the decision on, do you want a cupcake or a cookie?
No.
All the decisions are made for them. They may have been the most high-powered person in a Fortune 10 company, and now someone is changing their undergarments. we've taken everything away from them. They have no control over anything. That's the way we present the babies, is we give them control. If they don't want to engage with the baby, that's okay. But we're giving them as much control in not engaging with the baby as we're giving them with engaging with the
Right.
baby. They're going to make decisions. They don't get to, especially in a community, they don't get to make decisions. It's 4:30, it's supper time. Well, personally, I don't like to eat at 4:30, but all of those are made for them. And when they're at home with a caregiver, I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to explain it. They're at the mercy of the caregiver, their daughter, their son, their granddaughter, or whatever, because that person is trying to take care of a relative with dementia. They maybe have a couple of kids themselves. Heavens to forbid, they may work.
Yeah.
So it's bam, 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 bam. So we really, once dementia is diagnosed, they lose everything that they've had all of their lives, what they worked for, what they strived for. And if I can give them back a little bit of dignity, I've had a good day at work.
So let me ask you, do you guys use volunteers for some, like when you think about doing a baby shower for a bunch of people, how many people does it take to do that? And do you use volunteers to do that?
When we do the community baby showers, it's open but closed, if that makes any sense. We work with their vendors, and they work with the family members. We support them 100% because they get donations to buy the babies. Now, there is a charge for their training, of course. I mean, we're a nonprofit, but we charge for the training, and then their community raises the money to buy the babies. The babies are $75 each. And so we work with them. We get all the money raised. All their vendors we have a tremendous social media network. So all their vendors get shout out. Let's just say that you sponsor 5 babies at the Jim Smith Memory Care. Well, you're one of their vendors. You do that. You're coming to the baby shower. Where we can always use volunteers is, of course, dressing babies, getting them ready for that shower and everything like that. And then we actually do have a sponsorship program. You can access that on our website, which you have all of that information. And you get lots of great stuff. You actually get babies yourself. And then you're going to get shout outs on our social media, everything like that. And families like to do that. Sometimes it's in memory of, mom that died, but a lot of people just donate because it's an amazing cause. And I know nobody likes statistics, but I'm going to throw some at you. 10,000 people a day in the United States turn 65 years old. Right now, on the rolls, this is diagnosed and under a doctor's care, there's 5 million people with cognitive disorders in the United States. This year, 1 million people will be added to that roll.
Wow.
Every person in the United States, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say the world, every person is going to be affected by dementia. You may not get it, but you may have a family member or someone you go to church with, your next door neighbor. We are all going to be affected by dementia. Yeah. I will stake my reputation on that. And the more we know, the better we are able to cope with it. You're not going to heal up from dementia.
Right.
You're not going to get any better, and it's going to get worse every day. I mean, I don't mean to say things hurtful or that sound bad. I'm just speaking the truth. That every day you're going to be faced with a new challenge, and as people develop dementia, they become big, crafty toddlers. So if you're caring for someone at home, and heaven forbid you have to go to the bathroom, they may drink a bottle of Windex and run outside.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've not seen a lock yet that can hold a dementia patient. They just can't. Like I said, they're big, crafty toddlers. So anything that we can do, we have, for the communities, we have like 30, I think it's 32 activities that they can do with the babies, with the residents. They can put everybody down. It takes the average dementia patient about 40 minutes to undress this baby. They all have on, you can kind of see a little
Yeah.
bulge there. They all have on little swaddler diapers, but they undress the baby, they change the diaper, and then they dress the baby back. It takes about 40 minutes. You can put everybody at a table. One caregiver can watch everyone, work with everyone, while the other caregivers are checking on people and doing things. Communities have staffing issues. To be
Yeah.
honest, it's hard to get caregivers. So when you can have three caregivers doing the legwork and one working with the babies, you just added an hour back into their
Yeah.
day, and communities love that.
Yeah. Smart. Well, so tell me again the website where people can go and get more information.
Okay, it is the Grandbaby Project.org.
Okay.
And also go on our Facebook page
Okay.
because you will actually see videos of the baby showers and things like that. And so go on our Facebook page, like us, please, like and follow. And then, but you can go on to our website. If you have any questions, you can reach out directly to me.